explain a bit about your present kind of field of work and how that really relates to trauma? Because I know you've spoken a lot about kind of dropping into the body, embodiment, but do you want to kind of just talk to us, make that kind of for us in the audience?
So I've practiced massage therapy for about 20 years now, and I have a whole range of disciplines that I use, you know, sports massage, Indian head massage. I do no hands massage. And through the no hands massage, which the idea is you don't use your hands, you use soft parts of your body. So you have far greater connection, far bigger expansive skin on skin contact, which is really beautiful because you switch off the pain receptors, switch on the pleasure receptors. There's far greater connection, so you're encouraging co-regulation then. It's through that work of Jerry Pive's no hands massage that I've come to become a trauma discharge therapist as well. And I've been doing that now for about 4 years. And that's a kind of continuation, a deeper dive into embodiment. So using the vehicle of massage therapy, but bringing in neuroscience and psychology, you know, the work of Eric Byrne, who talks about physis, that we have this in the best conditions available, we will thrive. You know, like a tree grows at certain times of the year and sheds its leaves. He talks about humans having that potential and that potency to do our best given the right circumstances. And unfortunately, as we know, as humans, we don't get the right conditions at the right time sometimes. And so things get in the way of that. So drawing upon that neuroscience, as I said, and I work with the polyvagal theory really. And so use the model with my clients of this window of tolerance. And that means we can be within the window of feeling good about ourselves, showing up in the world, doing our best, thriving, feeling well. However, we can trip into hyper states, hyper arousal, which is the fight, flight, fright, going into the sympathetic arousal where we're very stressed, and that has a whole raft of physiological reactions on the body, raises our heart rate, increases our blood pressure, gets us into stress states, which manifests physically, emotionally, mentally, energetically in adverse ways. So whenever clients come to see me, whether that's for massage or trauma resolution therapy, I want to build the profile and understand what their lifestyle is, what their job is, what's their history, if they had, you know, adverse conditions gone on in their lives, you know, because we're treating the whole person at the end of the day. Yeah. So drawing upon those and hypo states, which we can drop into when the body can't cope with that level of stress. We can drop into depression and states of withdrawal, not wanting to mix and mingle. So it's how to bring clients into that ideal state of that window of tolerance through the body. So I work directly with the nervous system through specific massage moves, through movements. And literally these are primal movements that talk directly to the nervous system. We don't need words. When trauma clients come to me, I don't need their whole histories, by the way, you know, because that can just trigger trauma. So the aim is to soothe the nervous system, bring the nervous system into regulation through co-regulation with myself in the presence of another. We can get regulated. And then through the movements, the massage strokes, compression work, these are primal moves that we do with babies. You know, we swaddle babies, we rock babies. And we stroke babies, and these are all specific moves and positions and postures that we use in trauma discharge therapy to bring the client into safety. And that goes for even when they come in the room. Clients might come in really angry and in their heads and wanting to tell their whole stories and splurge and just bleed all over the place emotionally. And I afford them that capacity to do that and that space, but really I'm bringing them into safety all the time. My room is simple, it's clean, it's clear, you know, there's no clutter in there. I'm in my steady state. I need to be in balance, in homeostasis myself, so that then through mirror neurons, the client eventually comes into being in their regulated state, and we have that co-regulation going on. And trauma discharge therapy, what I do is through these movements, as I've described, through these massage strokes, and I encourage clients to be in the present tense because that's where healing takes place. If they're tripping off into the past, if they're catastrophizing into the future, they've gone then. And so I do have safety protocols. If a client does get triggered, then I have the whole raft of safety protocols to bring them back into the present tense, you know, through questions, through bringing them into the present tense. And it's like a co-creative experience that they have, because I'm checking in with the client throughout their treatment. Are they okay? Are they still with me? And this is where trauma discharge takes place, in the present tense, in safety. You know, trauma release can only happen in safety. And if they drop into their bodies, maybe for the first time in a long, long time, because they've been operating from their heads as well, externally, then they can come into the present tense, come into their bodies and feel what it feels like to feel safe. And from this moment in time, they can start to release their trauma, because it gets stuck in the nervous system. So we're literally rewiring the nervous system to get used to how it feels safe. And I talk about breathing practices to enable this to happen outside of the treatment room. And I talk about how to, you know, feel in the body and come into the body as often as possible throughout the day, let's say, so that they can take tools away with them in order to support themselves. Because of course it's an ongoing process. It's not just coming to the treatment room and having that session. So yeah, that's trauma resolution therapy in a nutshell.
It sounds